Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Helvetia is a board game with a center of like the Swiss atmosphere or culture, if you will. In the game, there's really just 5 actions you're going to do, but how you manipulate those actions and when you time those actions is going to determine whether you win or not by scoring the most victory points. The game is easy enough to teach and to learn as there's really only 5 core actions in the game. But the game does give you that Euro feel of how am I best going to utilize these based on what my opponents are doing, the strategy that I want to employ, and how I'm going to score those victory points. So there's a lot of decisions to be made in this game. Very little luck, per se. I would say this is probably a medium or a little bit heavier than the medium game. It's a little bit abstracted out in the way Euro games are. And the theme hinges on that. And I think the theme is rather thin. Although some people have argued this is a very thematic game, maybe in a Euro type of way, but definitely not in a Ameritrash type of way. The game gives you all types of decisions to make. There's more than one way to win this game, and you can employ those strategies as you go through. I could play completely differently next time. In the circle that I'm going to have 5 different actions that I can utilize, but those strategies come out of that as you're going through the game. You do need to play against what other people are doing as you're marrying off or marrying inside families and be able to create an atmosphere of this culture that you're kind of building in this little town or society, if you will. The game is very, very good. This is a hidden gem game to me, one I think that a lot of people maybe haven't heard of or missed out on. This is definitely one I would recommend to you till you come back to. It has that Euro feel, so be ready for that. But the decision scale, the amount of decisions, the lack of luck, all that's going to play into a winner of an atmosphere. One of my favorite board games, one that I don't think that many people know about, one I can easily recommend. Keep her for me. Helvetia, it's a Swiss game here by Matthias Kramer. We'll open this up. You're going to get a rule book, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. You're going to get a board that will sit right in here. And it's going to look like this. It's going to have the different things on the scoring on it and the different characters that you're going to have in a little school for the kids. Then inside here, you're going to have these little markers in different colors. So you're going to get females and males. So the females will be a little smaller, kind of hard to tell, and each of these will have a child on the bottom of it. You're going to have some cubes and some circles that will be here. There will be different powers for the people and scoring tokens. These are really nice components you're going to have here. The buildings will be these nice, you can see the artwork on them is great. You can see what components are there, and they're very, very nice. The insert is semi-custom. I mean, it's made, probably not made for this game. It just has big things that you kind of put things in. But I think it works just fine for what we need here. The components are great. I think the artwork is fantastic. Everything looks wonderful. And the components are the highest of quality here. So here's the rule book. It comes in a different country and a different language, but you can see the pictures here, the components, and you're going to have a board here. You're going to see everything is kind of set up very nicely here. I can't read that. So what I was able to do was download off BGG some text-based instructions, which were very good. And then I was able to use the pictures as need be. I could kind of figure out where I was at. So it's not an English release. So this is what you're going to get for it, but I didn't have too many problems when I was going through it. Very good rule set. So when the game starts out, you're going to have some tiles on here. You're going to have these people markers out. You're going to have a number of these little circles that you'll have, and you'll have some workers that will be out. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of how to play the game. So what's going to happen is on a turn, you can utilize these circles in order to take the actions of the people. These buildings, which are going to have numbers on them, 1, 2s, and 3s, they're going to be out on the board based on what round it is or how far in the game we are, and you're going to be able to purchase these. In order to purchase these, you are going to go here. And you can go here just to spend 1 coin. That will allow you to buy 1 building. In order to pay for it, it'll have resources at the top here that you have to pay. And this is what it will generate. It will generate cheese if you use a goat. This one will generate meat if you have a cow. And then some of these, like you'll start out here, this one just has water. And that will just generate water for you. That's how that's going to work. So when it starts out, all your people will be up, and you will put a coin out, and this will allow you to purchase one of these. So let's say this tile is available for purchase. It requires some wood, and it would generate this substance for you each round. So what I would do is I would spend my coin here, and I would lay this person down
that's on this one that generates the wood, and I would be able to purchase this and put it somewhere around my town center. And there are strategic reasons why you want to do that, which I'll show you in a couple minutes. Now, let's say I didn't have a plywood, or let's say I want to purchase an item. If I didn't have the item, and it was wood, brick, or stone, I could spend another one of these, and I'd allow me to buy the one, and the other one could be utilized as one of these. So that's what that person is going to do. The second one right here is going to allow me to utilize the board up here. So instead of going there, let's say I put a worker here, I would be able to sell, let's say I wanted to sell this brick, and I could sell a brick right there. If I put multiple coins on there, I could sell multiple things. So say like I had this wood right here, I'd be able to take that right there, and I would have that plywood. What you're trying to do is get certain one of these for victory points here. If you meet the requirements of these tiles, you'll earn those tiles, which are victory points. If you get down to some of these bottom ones, and you're the first one to trade one of these, you will additionally get victory points. So let's say the third possible action is to go here. And this is what's going to happen here, is if you put a guy here, he will be able to stand these people up because they go to bed after they're used, but you just take one quadrant. So in this case, I'd be able to pick up the people here. Let me give you another example. Let's say we had people, let's say I had rotations kind of like this. All these people had been used. Then I could pick one of my quarters, and I could pick up all of these people. Or, if I didn't want to do that, I could pick up all of these people as long as they meet the quarters. The ones in the center are obviously going to be part of two different quarters. That's how that's going to work. If I go to the priest, he's going to marry people off. So if I had somebody in my town center, or if I had somebody in the school, I could go to somebody else's location. So let's say the yellow person wanted to do this. They could either they had somebody in the school or from their town center, and they could go over here and marry. So if it's a male, it must marry a female. If it's a female, it must marry a male. You literally just put them on that spot, and now this resource is available to yellow even though it's in the white player's town center. That's what the priest is going to do. Now, what the maid is going to do, she's going to allow you to put a person there, is if there is a male and a female in a location, they're married, you can bring out a person from your supply. So it will not come from your town center. It will come from your supply. You can choose a male or a female, and you kind of put it on its side there so it shows the kid, and that showcases that there's a baby there. So what that means, at the end of the round, the baby's going to go to school, and then they'll be in the school. Remember, you can marry from the school, or at the end of the round, anybody in the school will come out into my town center, or they can immediately be placed on any open building that I have. So that's kind of how that will work there. Whoever has the majority at the end of the round, whoever has the majority on a location, so area influence, will gain this tile of that person. So let's say I had the most here. Let's just say this was an end of turn. I had two people there. Yellow had one. I would grab the trader tile. If you have the trader tile in a turn, I can turn this over and use it, and it basically gives me a free trader action, which will allow me to trade up here if I wanted to. And each one of these will have one of these that you can flip over. The game is going to end when somebody gets to 20 victory points. Then you count up the victory points and see who has the most. Whoever has the most victory points will be the winner. So the game is all about using these workers that are here, but utilizing these people on this to pay for the resources in order to generate. So there'll be some chains that will go. So for example, in order for me to use this cow, I will need to use any hay. If I don't have any hay, I can't use this cow. And then maybe if I had another one, like this cow can be turned into meat, which obviously will give me 2 victory points if I can trade it off. So there'll be some little things here. So let's say I take the trader. I want to get down here. I could, use my hay, use my cow if I had somebody there, use my meat, or use my cow here, turn into meat if I had somebody there, and I'd be able to trade this, putting my cube out and getting the victory point. So there's going to be little chains that are going to be going on these buildings, going to be utilizing the workers, and it's a race to 20 points. And that's a quick overview of how to play.
Who should buy this game? Anybody looking for a Euro experience. This is definitely going to hit that nail right on the head. This is a Euro of all Euro games. Medium, a little bit heavier than medium, I think. And the weight level, complexity of this game, definitely not something to play with a family. It's going to be a little bit heavier than that unless you have some older gamers who, maybe teenagers who really can get into this type of game. It's a very fun experience. It's kind of neat to have these hidden gems a lot of people haven't heard of. This is one I recommend. Keeper for us.